How's it going, everyone, and welcome back. Today I have a small little surprise for you guys, and that is in the form of the tires that I decided to pick for the track dedicated wheels for the S2000. I ended up going with some Hankook RS4s, and I'm kind of excited about using them because I figured if I'm going to be on the track and it's going to be a long session, I think it's like about a 16 to 20 minute session on the track, I figured why not get something that's going to be a little bit more durable than, let's say, the RE71Rs. But today what I'm going to do is show you guys what happens when I have a lot of time on my hands and I'm bored out of my mind, and that is mess with things. And I can't even explain it, but I ended up doing two of the tires is I ended up painting them. I got these markers right here and I'm going to show you exactly what they're going to do. But as you can see with the tires behind me, I've already started kind of working on them a little bit. This is the last tire per se. I kind of did this one, but I'm working on this one, so I'm going to show you guys exactly what to do and how to prepare the surface and how to get everything done. Let's go ahead and talk about what are the supplies you're going to need for this video, because there's a little bit, but there's enough to show you what you need to do. Anyway, the first thing you're going to need to do is get a white Sharpie marker. This is a white oil-based paint pen Sharpie. So that's going to be for the smooth surface of the letters, and I'll show you exactly what that is right now. And for the more rougher areas, it's like a little bumps and grooves and stuff, I got a white acrylic marker, and I also got the orange, of course, for the Hankook logo. So I'm going to jump into that right now. So I'm going to show you where to take this and turn it into that. I'll have a list of all the materials you'll need in the description box below. But one more thing I forgot to mention was that if you're going to be doing this, don't be afraid to get any of the paint over on the places you don't want to get onto. So let's say, for example, you go over the lines on the letters or whatever. It's cool, like it comes off, it's really easy to come off. And for the most part, all I was using was a screw just so I can kind of scratch it off, and it comes off really easily on the parts you don't want it to be. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so what we're going to talk about first is the preparation. So in order for you to do any of this sort of stuff, you got to make sure that your tires are completely clean. You cannot have any sort of oil, dirt, or debris on the tires, or else it's going to mess up everything. You don't want that. So what you're going to do is make sure that everything's clean. You can wash it, you can scrub it, all you want. As long as it's just pure tire, no tire dressing, no dirt, nothing. It's got to be spotless. The next thing you're going to want to do is get some sandpaper. What I got is this 220 grit sandpaper, and I use it to scrub all of the smooth surfaces. So all the smooth lettering, basically where it says Ventus RS4, that's all going to be sanded out just a little bit, not too much, just enough so the paint will adhere to it. And the other stuff that I'm going to talk about is the rough edges. So there are just like a little bit of lines inside where it says Hankook and where the logo's at. You don't have to worry about sanding that at all. You can just get right into it so long as it's clean. Okay, so this is where I'm at right now. As you can see, I've already started here. This is what I need to do next. And this is the acrylic side. So you can see that I went out of the lines a lot, and that can be easily taken care of by just scrubbing it off and not having to worry about that. The bottom part is already done for the first coat, but I'm gonna need to do this one, and I'll show you what to do. So what you're gonna do for this step is you wanna get your paint pen out, you wanna shake it, and then once you open it, you'll see that the tip is kind of just whatever. You need to get that nice and primed up. So I already put a piece of painter's tape on the top here. What I'm gonna do is just press down like that, just to prime it up. And all you need to do is do the outline and fill in a little bit of the letters for the first pass. So as you can see, it's not perfect. You don't want it to be perfect the first time around. This is just to get the base coat on first, do your outlines, and make sure you got most of it down. So it's gonna fade off a little bit. As you can see, it's starting to fade off over here. The forest is still kind of fresh. It's still gonna be a little bit more white, but it's gonna fade in a little bit. But I'm gonna leave this alone. I'm gonna go on to the next step for the second coat so I can show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is the first coat that was done on the other side of the same tire. Now, for this step, I like to have the wheel kind of laying down. That way you don't have to worry about trying to reach everywhere and make sure that you get a nice clean run. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the same thing. Shake the pan a little bit. And I'm going to prime it over here on a little piece of painter's tape. That's nice and primed. So now what you want to do next is for this, you want to go ahead and barely touch the tire, the lettering, and kind of do little circles to kind of spread it out evenly. So right if it goes over, you can always scratch that off after. But you're going to want to do this for the entire lettering to give it a nice clean white coat. And for this, you'll see that it's not going to fade as much, but you will have a little bit of runs here and there. Okay, so I went ahead and jumped ahead and I did both coats. So now I have the first initial coat on both sides and the second coat on both sides. So those are taken care of. They're going to be drying off. The dry off period for these is not very long, usually within 10-15 minutes or so. It dries off pretty quick. And after the first coat, since it is kind of a light coat, you can start doing the second coat almost immediately after you do the other side. So if you did this side and you're going to jump to doing the second coat on this side, you can do it within a matter of minutes, with like 5 minutes or so. I'm going to show you guys how to do this side, which has the lines within the lettering. So it's kind of like a rough edge. So really don't have to worry about doing much, just making sure it's nice and clean. And what I'm going to start with is the logo. Now I have the orange acrylic marker here. Same thing, shake it up, prime it up, it's ready to go, and start just filling in. Better to prime it here actually, gives a little bit more paint onto the surface. So your first coat is just kind of like the same thing. You're just going to do the outline, make sure everything's there. If you go out of lines, it's perfectly fine. The acrylic comes off a lot easier on the smooth surface of the tire. That's why I wasn't using it for the actual lettering over here. So I'm going to just fill this in a little bit, make sure I get all the edges for the first coat. Nice wet coat, because this will bubble and it's going to dry, and you'll see what I'm talking about once this dries up. So that's done. Now let's move on to the letters. So for the letters, we have the white marker. Same thing, white acrylic marker. We're going to shake it up, take the cap off, prime it in the lettering itself, and just color it in. You can go up and down, left and right, it doesn't really matter. The point is to get all the edges covered and the entire letter filled. Your first coat doesn't really matter all that much in terms of like how much you put. If you want to put a heavy coat, that's fine. Light coat, that's fine as well. But just make sure that everything is nice and colored in. As we're waiting for the other lettering to dry off, so I got the Hankook drying off the other side. I got these two other ones, the Ventus, both sides are drying off right now. I have this one that I already did, and I'm just going to leave this one as is. I kind of touched it up a little bit earlier, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this screw and all the excess marks that you see here, so all the overruns and whatever, I'm going to take that off using this. All you got to do is just scratch it. It comes off real easy, so you just scratch it off like that, and you can wipe it off afterwards. I recommend using a towel, like a damp towel with some rubbing alcohol. You might want to use something else if you don't want to use alcohol, but I saw the alcohol did just fine. It didn't hurt the tire at all. And you just wipe it down, or you can just rub your finger like that. You'll get some smearing, but it goes away, and it'll give you cleaner lines and it'll look real nice. But since this is already dried up, we can go ahead and kind of touch it up with the screw. So as you can see, there's like some runoff areas here, there's some here, there's some over here. All you really have to do is go like this. So just scratch it off, and it cleans it up just like that. Okay, so this is what the final product should look like after you do your last coats and after you scratch everything off. Make sure everything is clean and your lines are clean. So you can see here, see there's leftover white residue from where I scratched it off. RS4 is in good shape. Here's where the Hankook lettering is. If this doesn't last during the track day, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just scrape it off, but We're gonna see if it lasts. And this is the rest of it. And the last hand cook here in the bottom. So there you have it, paint on your tires. I will admit this process is very tedious. It takes a long time to do. It's better to have a lot of time on hand if you're gonna do this, and I only did it because I had a little bit of extra time and there's a little bit of gap between the next video I'm gonna shoot and doing these, so that's why, the only reason why I did it. If I were to do it again, I probably wouldn't do it just because it's a long time. Unless I have a lot of time again, then I'll probably do it. But you know, for the most part, if you're patient enough and if you're kind of like a stickler for little details, like taking off like certain areas of paint, then hey, I say try it. If it lasts on the track, which I don't expect at least the acrylic part to last, I'm sure the oil-based paint will last a lot longer than the acrylic, but I guess I'll find out. And another tip, if you're gonna do this, I would say take the tires off the car, just because, you know, working like this is really, really difficult, and you'll miss the lines a lot more than you won't if you have a bench like I do, or if you have like something to actually put the tires on. That would probably be the better bet to do, because working on a flat surface, you can see all the lines better, you can get more of the paint flowing down on the pen. It's just easier that way. It'll save you a lot of time and hassle. But that's gonna be it for this video, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time.